Wmcjltv, Jazz Lovers Television Network. Arts, culture, and entertainment with fine news and business. Wmcjltv. Wmcjltv brings to you a special edition, seated upon the throne of Shango, the Orishas, Ahmad Mansour in Brazil, given the honor of being seated upon the throne of the Orisha, Shango, and the Oya, Obatala, Okoshi, seated upon the throne of Shango, Ahmad Mansour. Shango, Urma Akiyo, Shango. Coming out of Brazil with Ahmad Mansour on the World Media Coalition Jazz Lovers Television Network, speaking about the distinct honor that he received to be seated upon the Orisha throne of Shango. And we have Chief Kevin Turner, who is an indigenous Moor from out of New Orleans, with us to discuss the distinct honor that Ahmad received. Ahmad, tell us about that, please.
Well, so it's weird. So since I'm from Brazil, it's my beginning when I first came, not to Brazil in general, but when I came to Salvador, I've always had, a deep connection with the Orishas, for one, them being our ancestors, and two, them being of the land, from Antibalan. And I frequent uh, Tejeru every now and then, but I wouldn't say I'm a devotee. I've never been initiated, but every experience that I've had at a Tejeru, at a Cosmic Playhouse, has been something no less than moving and epic. My first contact with any Orisha was back in 2010 It was around New Year's, and it was right here, close to where I'm living now in Baja. I was walking down the street, and there was nobody around, which I found interesting. It was New Year's Eve. There was nobody on the street that I was at, and there was Babalodi Shah just sitting there on the side of the road with his table and his chair, and he's a white cloth Orisha. So he sit at the table, and he called me over, and he said, "Hey, let me do a reading for you." And I was like, "Well, I don't have any money." And he was like, "No, I'm not going to charge you. I just want to do a reading for you." And he did a reading. This was right after I had gotten divorced. I didn't say anything about my life, my personal life. I just told him my name and everything. So he gave me a reading. He told me that everything was going to be okay, and keep moving forward. And from this is a while ago. This is back in 2010, so I don't remember everything. But basically, he told me to keep moving forward and everything was going to be okay, that I wouldn't have to worry. So that was the first experience I had with Orishas. And I had a couple of experiences after that where I went to Casa de Contemplé, a temple, Contemplé temple, and I was always respected. Always treated like a guest. Not like a guest, always treated like I was at home. And there was one particular time, I believe it was 2014, during a party, just after a party that's called Sao João, which is Saint John. It's basically a party that celebrates the beheading of the saint of Saint John in the Bible. But this from the Blay House had a ceremony that was actually a Shango party, because the time of Shango. In the father of the house, the Babalodi Shah, was Eshu. So I was in a neighborhood. I was in a town called Cachoeira, which is a very powerful town when it comes to the ancestors and ancestry and African history here in Bahia. And it was interesting while I was there, because I was there in this town for about 4 days. And for 4 days, I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't get any rest. I was restless, what we call inquieto in Portuguese, which I couldn't relax. I couldn't sleep. So every night I would just get up and walk around the town and just walk, seemingly aimlessly, but obviously my spirit was looking for something. And then the last day, I walked up a hill. When I got to the top of the hill, there was a Candomblé temple, and they were having a party for Shango. But the Baba Lidi Shah, the house was Eshu, and this was the first time I had actually been at a temple where there was a ceremony happening. So people started to incorporate the Orisha started to come down. And house themselves and people, so they started to move around and be present in the house, and it was kind of intense for me. So I stepped out, to go stand by the bonfire, which was made for Shango, and then the Babo Lidi Shah of the house, Eshu, actually came out of the house and talked to me, and he was like, you're welcome here, you're important here, please come back in. So I went back in, the ceremony was, I spent the rest of the ceremony there. They gave me a plate of food, and then I left, came back to Salvador, and went about my life. Shooting forward, now, this past year, 2 years, I've been working in tourism, and one of the major tours that I've always been given is a tour of Candomblé temples, and not just one, but some of the main ones, Casablanca, with the White House, with the other one, Menininya de Batuá, which is one of the major Candomblé temples here, one of the first out of the three original ones that were created in the beginning of the Candomblé history here in Salvador. There was a guy, a Babalodi Shah from Nigeria, that brought 3 women here with him, and they started the 3 main Candomblé temples in Menininya de Batuá and Casablanca are two of the three. The third one, which was the first one, I haven't actually been to yet. But I've always been called to work as a translator in these temples, in several temples. I've even been called to do translations for readings for people between speak English. So I had to do the translation between English and Portuguese. But I'd never been seated anywhere. I'd never been initiated or anything. I've had my readings done. I found out my Orisha is Oshosi, which is the hunter. And then my second Orisha is Ochin, which is another hunter who was a creation of Oshosi. So I'm two times a hunter. And they call Ochin the Cazador de Tres Peitos, which means the hunter with three breaths, which symbolizes abundance. I've also got Eshu very strong in me. He is the gatekeeper between the Orishas and Earth. So he's the one that communicates our needs and necessities to the Orishas. So this was 2 weeks ago, about not even 2 weeks ago, a week ago, on Wednesday. I think it was a Wednesday at a Contemplate temple in a place called Praia de Forte, up north. We went to a party of Shango. I met the Baba Odisha, and I was doing the translation while they were doing the ceremony. There was also another Baba Odisha from Nigeria that was here for this event that I was translating for. So, while the event is going on, I'm standing by the door, translating and trying to kind of helping all the processes and everybody's processes. And then the Baba Lady Shah comes up to me, pulls me onto the middle of the floor, to do a dance. So he pulls me on the floor, grabs me by the arm, grabs me by my left arm, and goes forward 3 times and back 3 times, and then walks me to the door, and I go forward 3 times and back 3 times to the door. Then he turns me around to the orchestra, the Oguns, that were playing the drums, and walks 3 times, to the front, forward, back 3 times, and then bring me to the throne 3 times, and he sits me down 3 times, and then he tells me, sit there until I come back. And then when I sit down, a young adult, she's probably about 20, 23, comes and starts talking to me, and she, her spirit was really childlike. She was a Ede, her spirit that she incorporated was an Ede. It was a child spirit, and she herself was holding a baby in her hand. And she began talking to me and asking me how to say in English to communicate to the people I was translating for how they were feeling, if they were having fun, if they were enjoying it, if they were comfortable. So I was doing that, and then I found out that she, the Ede that she had incorporated was called green bow, green arrow. So she was the bow and arrow to my Oshosi. My Oshosi is a hunter, and his main weapon is a bow and arrow. He's only got 1 arrow. So she was appointed to be my helper, my left hand, and she had a baby in her hand. So that went on, and I this whole time this thing is happening, I didn't know what was going on, but I wasn't uncomfortable at all. I didn't feel like I was being, misled or anything. I just felt, okay, I'm here. This is an important place to be, because just before that, the Baba Orisha from Nigeria was sat down in the same seat, but he's already a high priest. So I was sat down in the same seat as the high priest from Nigeria, in the same seat that the Baba Orisha of that actual house sits in. So I knew there was something going on. I just didn't know what. So then after that, they, brought the throne outside, sat me outside by the fire, sat me next to the mother of the house, the Mama Orisha. And, she starts talking to me, and, and she says, how long you been Ogun? I was like, I don't know, never. So then she explained to me that I had been suspenso Ogun, which later on I discovered that it's basically one of the guardians of the house, one of the guardians of Contemplate. I take care of the music. I play the drums, which were originally played by Eshu. So I wanted them to play the drums. I help the people that when they incorporate their orishas. I help make the food. I help make the offerings of the animals. And I'm basically just a guardian. And a friend of mine, who I've known for many years, she was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. That's how your spirit is, and it's not just in the the temple; it's everywhere. Like you have the spirit of the guardian. You are the protector. You are the one that when you get to a place, you're not just thinking about yourself. You're always trying to protect everybody. You're looking at everybody. You're watching everybody, and you're a quiet person and reserved person. You sit in the corner and you never notice, but you always sit in the highest place where you can see everything wherever you go. And I'm like, oh really? It's like, yeah, you always find that most elevated spot, and you just sit there and you're quiet and you're always observing. You interact, but you're always just kind of observing everybody. It's like it makes a whole lot of sense. So I'm still, growing into it. Obviously, it's only been a week, but I am proud of the honor that I've been given. And I need to know the process and everything else that I need to do, and what it incurs, and what it means for the future, for my future. What will come of this.
Doing the chair. Well, you have been Wmcjltv Nazim Ma'atu, Mwazi Ma'utu, Wmcjltv Nazim Ma'atu, and Mwazi Umutu. Wmcjltv Nazim Ma'atu means call before the Most High. And Mwazi Umutu means standing in the name of the Most High. So both of those are exalted position. And when you combine them together, they are even more exalted position. So that is where you've been placed. I'm going to yield to Chief Turner so you can get his take.
Well, first, let me say this. I'm at work and I'm ducked off in the break room. So that's why I have my mic muted. But I understand the spiritual connection of the whole initiation process and all this stuff. And I understood the Orishas when I went to Atlanta for the first time with Maynard's wife, Rob. So I'm really not too averse on the Orishas. I know the different spiritual things that go along with them. And you and I are like kindred spirits. We always protecting people. We always mindful of our surroundings. So a lot of people say, "Oh, you Shango," and I never knew. I was never taught the Orishas until I got almost 48 years old. I know it was initiated, but certain things in our spirit manifested to other spiritual people. If that makes sense. Yeah. Just like me, like today, we under the Essence Festival. And I just put on my African Obobo. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but if I did, then I apologize. But in honor of your seat that you just acquired, I wore my African attire. So, right. But later on today, I will be with Donald Harrison Jr. He's an international saxophonist as a part of the Essence Festival. But I'm going to talk to Makakubu later on in the day or later on tonight, because I need to get a little more clarity on the Orisha and the different deities in the Afrocentric Europe, if I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah.
So I understand, what we call in the Native American, we call it vision quest. We're on this journey, but we really don't know what the end of the journey is going to be.
Yeah.
But in all of this really connects around this most high God that we serve. But it connects people with the right people at the right time in this journey. So I'm not going to prolong the time. I'm going to yield the floor back to Makakubu. And I'm going to go back to mute because I don't want y'all to hear all this People walk
You in the chair, Most High, Wmcjltv. The ascension to the throne of Shango is very interesting because many times in the past when I have tapped in the chair, played the spiritual drum, I have drummed to Shango. And
I think he froze. Kuba froze. While he's coming back, Ahmad, I want to congratulate you and to the ancestors and how they moving on and helping you move forward. And our extraterrestrials, the beings from other galaxies coming in, I want to really congratulate you. The Orisha, I'm not quite familiar with it, but I have to do some study. You could probably spell the word, send the word out to me, and I could look it up. But I want to congratulate you, and our time is here. Our time is at hand for us to move forward. Okay?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Right.
I think my Kuba went off for a minute. Brother Kevin, Chief Kevin, you can go right ahead and finish up if you want to go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
Well, and I understand the colors of Shango, red and white. In my regalia, I've done Shango more than once. Just recently, I did red and white again this year. And I did an Afrocentric chest piece and just a buffalo at the bottom. That was the only piece I had on my regalia. And everybody stopped in the tracks like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I was like, what is it? I said, this is the smallest suit I ever made. And it was like, well, yeah, the small suit has a powerful message. So, for years, I would say 2010, I did the Sacred White Buffalo with the red and white, with a double-edged axe. And everybody was like, what are you doing? I was like, well, that's what I was inspired to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do things not knowing because they don't teach Afrocentric stuff in the regular school. They don't teach Afrocentric. I came up under the Louisiana Catholicism. They don't teach that. The Santa Maria is a part of the Spanish culture of the worship. But, a lot of people for Catholic, for this, that. But as far as New Orleans, we well known for the voodoo part of a lot of our worship. But it don't make all of us practitioners of voodoo. But like I said.
Yeah, I mean, I gather from, at least from my journeys in my life until now is that, all things in spirit, whether we call it one thing or another, one language or another, one culture or another, all things in spirit are connected, so there's a Shango in every culture, there's a Oshosi in every culture, there's an Ogun in every culture, there's Oshala in every culture. Everywhere that you go, the spirit is connected.
Sorry about that. I lost my connection.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We got it. I was saying just now that Chief Turner was did it drop again? Okay. But yeah, every spirit, every spirit, the realm of spirit is one. So every spiritual manifestation that we see, that we come in contact with, is connected all the way across the board. So I'm learning that now. Oshosi in one culture may have another name in another culture, but he is the same spirit. So, now I'm just gonna see my walk and then see where it leads me.
Well, I just want to say, can I just say something? I have on, as you see here, I have on the tiger's eye, the all seeing eye right here, and I have the. But I want to show you something that I'm the son of the green light. I want to show you this. This was an honor to me. This came from the one we said El Hadji years ago, the son of the green light. So you were saying that they came to you in different forms. At this time, there's certain people that's chosen for certain things to lead and to go forward. We don't know why we're chosen. We don't question it, but we know that it's there and things are happening. So I just want to say I respect you and you're moving forward, and we have to pull together as a family, you and Brother Kevin and Makubu and myself. So I am just a servant. I'm here to give service, whatever I can do, and I want to move forward and whatever we can do to move you along. We're right here for you as a family.
Get him out here. Do that.
I want to thank everyone for coming in and having this discussion on such an important occurrence. And it's not lost on any of us what is happening. So we're going to close out. But I want to thank Ahmad. Stay strong. I want to thank Chief Turner. Stay strong. I want to thank Joe Lance Williams. Stay strong. Do in the chair. Wmcjltv. Thank the Most High. Lion of the New Dawn.
Do in the chair. Wmcjltv, my family.
Wmcjltv brings to you a special edition. Seated upon the throne of Shango, the Orishas, Ahmad Mansour in Brazil, given the honor of being seated upon the throne of the Orisha, Shango, and the Oya, Obatala, Okoshi, seated upon the throne of Shango, Ahmad Mansour. Shango, Wmcjltv, Shango. Wmcjltv, Jazz Lovers Television Network. Arts, culture, and entertainment with fine news and business. Wmcjltv.